There is an alarming reality about starting a business, 50% of which fail within the first year, and 75% of those that exceed the first year fail within the next 5 years. However, Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is set out to tackle those relatable entrepreneurial challenges by introducing young minds to hands-on knowledge that will help to start, sustain, and scale a successful business, and in turn, beat the odds. Are you an undergraduate student with a passion for entrepreneurship? Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is the platform to turn your dreams into a thriving business. Listen to our students share how Embark Entrepreneurship Academy has transformed their ambitions into achievement. Their ambitions into achievements.
Experience at the Embark Entrepreneurship Program has been impactful, knowledgeable, and insightful at the same time.
At the Embark Entrepreneurship Academy, awesome.
It has been supportive, educational, and I love the family feeling that it brings.
I wish I had taken the class before I started my business.
To learn more, simply sign up for the pre-registration webinar at bit.ly/embark pre-application webinar,
or call the numbers on the screen.
There is an alarming reality about starting a business, 50% of which fail within the first year, and 75% of those that exceed the first year fail within the next 5 years. However, Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is set out to tackle those relatable entrepreneurial challenges by introducing young minds to hands-on knowledge that will help to start, sustain, and scale a successful business, and in turn, beat the odds. Are you an undergraduate student with a passion for entrepreneurship? Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is the platform to turn your dreams into a thriving business. Listen to our students share how Embark Entrepreneurship Academy has transformed their ambitions into achievements.
Experience at the Embark Entrepreneurship Program has been impactful, knowledgeable, and insightful at the same time.
At the Embark Entrepreneurship Academy, awesome.
It has been supportive, educational, and I love the family feeling that it brings.
I wish I had taken the class before I started my business.
To learn more, simply sign up for the pre-registration webinar at bit.ly/embark pre-application webinar,
or call the numbers on the screen.
All right. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this live session. This is Embark Entrepreneurship Academy Spotlight Show. And today we have amazing people on the live show. We have the giant, amazing Wurafadaka on the live show. So before I introduce them, I want to see us introduce ourselves in the comment section. So let me know where you're joining from, your name, and where you're joining from. Can we do that very quickly? Yes. So I'm going to start. My name is Temi Toke, and I'm joining from United Kingdom. Can you guys just let me know where you're joining from? Okay, is anyone on the chat? Okay, I can't see the chats. Okay, let me see. Okay, good evening, Fermi. Good to have you. Please let's keep dropping our names, where you're joining from. Okay. Good evening, Fermi. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so I will be introducing Wurafadaka, like I said. So I want you to. Okay, Oluwafermi from Nigeria. Thank you, Fermi. Who else is on the call? Okay, thank you, Fermi. Okay, good evening, Rodia. Yes, good evening, Rodia. I can see you. All right, so because of our time, I would just like to get right into it. Introduction of our guest. All right, so Wurafadaka is an African-inspired fashion business that emphasizes selling new, chic, traditional, trendy, and urban designs to its customers. Our vision is to project the strength of the African fashion industry globally. Okay, I can see you, Oluwatosin. Good evening. Good evening, Oluwatobiloba Ruth. All right. So Wurafadaka we sell our products in our showrooms and partnering boutiques across Nigeria and Europe. We also sell our product on third-party e-commerce sites. Our headquarters is located in Lekki, Phase 1, Nigeria, and we have other branches located in Ilorin, Kwara State, and Abeokuta, Ogun State. Wurafadaka primarily serves women, men, kids aged 1 to 80 within Africa, United States of America, and Europe. We make mass production of products as well as bespoke custom-made productions. Okay, we also have a fashion institute that offers 4 different programs: beginners, masters, professionals, where we train individuals in the art of sewing excellent unisex clothes. Our fourth program, Business of Fashion, essentially makes our fashion institute stand out, as we also train individuals on the business aspect of fashion in order for them to be rightly positioned to compete effectively in the global market. We have trained over 500 individuals in our Fashion Institute with a 99.8% alumni success. Our approach to the fashion business makes us unique and innovative, as we have a 24 hours production. Please, are you clapping for Wurafadaka? Let me take that again. Our approach to the fashion business makes us unique and innovative, as we have a 24 hours production. That's a big deal. 24 hours production and delivery system for bespoke outfits. We have been able to solve the problem of lack of speed in the value chain of the fashion industry in Nigeria by providing a 24 hours production and delivery service for all our clients. This solution defiles the odds of the typical African fashion brands, which enables our clients to get their custom-made bespoke outfit sewn and delivered within 24 hours, as opposed to 2 weeks or more like other typical African fashion brands. Our solution of speed has expanded our clientele base because of the huge problem it is solving. Please, let's give it up for Wurafadaka this evening. I believe they're on the call. Please, you can enable your video. Thank you, sir and ma. Good evening. Good evening.
Wonderful evening. Can you see me? Can you see us? Sorry.
No, not yet, please. Not yet. But I can hear
Okay.
you clearly. Good evening,
I don't
sir.
know
Good
why.
evening, ma.
I'm coming. I don't know why it's. Let me join again.
All right.
Just
All
give me
right.
seconds. Front
Okay.
camera auto camera
I
standard.
believe we are
All right.
excited to be here, everyone on the call. I can see Ifeoma, Faida, Ruth. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So good to have you here. Go and get your daughter and your biro because there is so much to unpack from today's live show. I know Rodia is so happy. The fashion mama. Yeah. So we'll get right into it in a bit. Yes, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. Yes, good evening, sir. Good evening, Ma. I can see you. Okay, but I think you are muted now. I can't hear you.
Okay, do you want us to so landscape or portrait is better?
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Okay, this
I
is
think
this is beautiful. Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you,
That's
Mar.
good.
So good to have you on the call.
Oh, a privilege. How you doing? Good
I'm
other day.
very fine. Good
Good
evening.
it's
Yeah,
evening.
thank you. Thank you for
It's
all
good.
you do. All right.
Thank God. Thank
All
God.
right, so let's just get right into it. So it won't take too much of your time. Please, I already introduced you to the people on the call, but I also want to hear from you. So probably we can do ladies first, and then we
Okay.
go to sir. Thank you.
Okay. So everyone knows, I believe, or I presume, my name is Damola Tijesuni Simire, and I'm the CEO of Wurafadaka Network. Over to you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
My name is Tijesuni Simire, and I'm the chairman of Wurafadaka Network currently. Thank you very much. Is there any
Thank
other
you.
thing you want to know? Okay, it's an interview, so over to you.
All right, thank you. I mean, I read the things that you do at Wurafadaka, and I believe that they are all excited to have you here. I believe they have questions to ask. So let's just get right into what we have. And like I said earlier, it's really a privilege to have you on the call. We know you are very busy, so we really appreciate you joining us on this call. So on this call, we have young entrepreneurs, we have people that they're running different businesses and they have questions that they've sent to us, and I'll just go right into asking the first question that we have here. So the first question here is, can you take us back to how Wurafadaka started? What inspired the name and the vision behind the brand? So I don't know who is going to answer. Should
Okay, I will answer. Okay. Yeah,
You go.
okay. Basically, I started the brand back at the University of Law, Kwara State. It's somewhere in Nigeria. Because I believe it's a global audience, so I don't want to
yeah,
assume
it
everybody
is.
knows Kwara State. So I started as a student, and the name, yeah, the name is kind of a family because my mom is a tailor. Because my mom started as a fashion designer, I met her as a fashion designer. I was born into her, or so she was. I was born into the world, and she was a fashion designer as at then. But she left it. She came back. She left it. She came back. So the whole inspiration came while I was in the university, and I saw that I could solve my personal problems firstly, so I could solve the problem of taking care of myself as a student. So not really, I did not really like depending because my parents have tried their best. They've seen me through secondary school, all of that. So I just felt it right that, man, let me have something to do with my life here. Let me be able to start providing for myself. So that's where the idea came from. And as for the name, it is actually, I have two younger ones that are twins. One is Wura, one is Fadaka. So earlier in the business, we wanted to register the business. I am my mom. So we it was silver gold concept then. And when we were using, in fact, we already printed emblems, everything, silver gold concept. But by the time we got to the CSA, they said the name is not available. So we just like, let's change the name to Wurafadaka. So it's not like it came from heaven, or it was not. It was just a normal circumstance that led to it. Because eventually, on the long run, I believe that it's not the name, except the Lord. So I'm going to be saying the Lord a lot because I'm a Christian, a good one at that. So except the Lord lays it in your heart that okay, use this name. If not, so it's not really the name of the brand that matters. Coca-Cola does not matter. Say it 10 times, Coca-Cola, Coca. You notice that the name does not really make sense. But because it's now a big brand, you think the name makes sense. So it's the content and the brand that matters. And our vision, as for our vision currently, our vision is basically to showcase the strength of the African fashion industry on a global scale. That's our current vision as a brand. So we want it to want, there's been a lot of misrepresentation about Africans, then African brands, then African fashion brands. So we're coming to yours, negate that. Okay, that's not how it is. Or the fact that you had a bad experience or something, that is the whole of Africa. So we are coming to bring a new representation of the African fashion industry on a global scale. I think I summarized everything for you there.
Thank you, sir. The funny thing is, so I got to know Wurafadaka back then in Ilorin as well, because I graduated from Ilorin Faculty of Arts. And I remember the first time I heard for Wurafadaka, what came to my mind was it that the Holy Spirit just dropped this name on Mr. Tijesu's mind, But now hearing the story, I know better. So I just want to ask something. I mean, you said you started while you were in the University of Ilorin. I believe that there were some challenges that you faced. So, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in the early days, and how did you navigate them?
Okay, I think that's what me also. Don't
So, should
I
I?
can't see
Okay,
it.
Mr. Tijesu, right?
Well, since I was one that started it was actually the first part was that she was already my friend as at the time. Is it friend or girlfriend? Because I think we knew each other. We met in 100 level or before 100 level
Wow,
because we did
wow.
something they call Remedia in the University
Free
of Illinois. It's
degree.
like a pre-degree.
Oh yeah,
So
yes.
towards the end, at the end of pre-degree, that's where we just started talking, and so we got admission together. So we've been friends, but I had this reservation towards going into a relationship at the first year. So I've had this premonition, like plan that I'll only be in a relationship after 3 years, like at the third year at my part 3 in school, because I wanted to focus on academics and all of that. So I was a friend in 100 level, and we were already friends, very good friends. I even confessed my feelings, but I told her that I was not ready that time, that she should, if she can wait for me till 300 level. And luckily for me, she did. So, so I'm trying to say because she was involved also, but not actively. But she was because I think some of the what do you call it, capital I used then, she provided them so much because I remember there was a time she emptied her account to give me to make some productions many times like that while we were in school. But she was not, of course, actually, we didn't know what the future held, but we knew that it was going to be bright. But she was studying biochemistry. I was in Faculty of Arts as well. So while we were in school, I think access to funding and the fact and access to skilled guys because I can't sew, I've never we don't know how to sew. We've never stepped on the sewing machine. Have never. I don't know how to cut. I don't know how to drive the machine. So I'm just a businessman, and I have the concept. Of course, I know about fashion. I know about merging fabric, so I can coordinate artisans, but I can't really show. So I discovered that was my strength. My strength was in coordinating talent, not really being the talent. So we had issues with getting the right people at first because we made so many mistakes in terms of measurement. In fact, we started with Fadaka at first. We were because I told you my mom was a tailor, so she was in Abeokuta. She was the one producing the outfits, sending it to Ilore, but people did not
Wow.
know. Yes, we put it on for like that first 1 year, 1.5 or so when we started. He was the one. So many times when we send the measurements to them and all of that, the quality control was very slim. So by the time you come, is that the sleeve is shorter or the clothes is tight, and I'll start looking for somebody else to give the clothes. So that lack of, good skilled people, I had issues, even though I had a whole vision, but it was not easy for me to navigate through that season until I was able to meet people that can, so until I learned better, until I knew that, okay, Even if we measure a client, there should be allowances. Even if you do this, you should be able to do this. So those are the things I learned along the way. And also out because I disappointed a lot of clients. So I developed the capacity to calm a client down. So I wasn't scared of anybody, any client. Okay, even if it goes south, I know the words to appease you. And that was where we started full refund policy. So I started refunding clients if what we give you is not what you asked for. So just to keep integrity and all of that. So those were the ways we tackled it. And by on the long run, we started being because as at that time, even though you had a lot of vision, it's very skilled fashion designers. These those that are very good. They are expensive, and I couldn't hire them. So I had to use students like man, I just tried to curb the mistake. There was still mistake, but I just tried to curb it a little, maybe from like 100% to like maybe 65%. So I just used the rest, my marketing skill, to balance it till we were able to, find a good way around it. But by now, but I'm talking of the early days though. So, but because it's a whole different story now.
Wow, wow. This is good. I mean, I believe we have people that are in the fashion industry here, and from what you just said now, it's made me realize that there is no way one will not face challenges, but you will definitely overcome them and see where Wurafadaka is today. Thank you so much for sharing that, sir. So this question I'll be directing it to Ma. So this question is surrounding brand strategy and positioning. So Wurafadaka is described as new, chic, traditional, trendy, and urban. So I want to know, how do you balance these diverse elements and still stay consistent as a brand?
Well, it's simple vision. So we understand that our vision is to project the strengths of the African fashion industry globally. So regardless of the trends that comes and go, we still understand that we're sticking to the vision. So there is trend and then there is vision. Regardless of every trend, because in the fashion industry there are trends. Now you can
Okay.
see that the Ashoke, the Adire trend is in vogue. It wasn't like that before. I remember
Okay.
back then, if you wear a shoke, it just seems like you're old school. But now it just feels like you're trendy if you wear a shoke and adire fabric. So it wasn't like that before. So we are ensuring that we are moving with the trend as a business, as a brand. At the same time, we're sticking to our vision. So where Fadaka sells new, trendy, chic wares, that doesn't mean that we are not projecting the strengths of the African fashion industry globally. So regardless of the change in trends, because of the kind of brand or industry that we're in, we're sticking to our vision. So that's why we've been able to move with the tides, regardless of the trends that comes and go, but we're sticking to the one thing, the vision of the brand.
Wow, so good. So that means before you even venture into any business, you must have a vision. There must be something that you already put down that okay, this is what is guiding you. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that, Ma. Okay, I also want to ask this question about the 24-hour production. You know,
Okay.
this is one thing that I know that the first time I heard about it, I was like, how is this even possible? From coming from someone that has been disappointed by tailors like several times, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they're telling you your clothes is almost ready. So how did this idea come about? How do you consistently deliver on it?
Okay, so it's a long story. Where do I start from? We started the 24 hours production and delivery system about one and a half, was it 1.5 or 2 years?
It's nothing to you.
2 years ago. So it wasn't something, and by the way, Wurafadaka would be 11, right?
Yes.
This
Wow,
year, 11.
wow,
So
amazing.
it wasn't something that we started with. So for any designer that feels like there must be, well, if it's better if you have a niche that you're starting with. We started the niche that Wurafadaka started with was this Kinte, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Wurafadaka started with a niche before we gradually grew to diversify. But for the 24 hours that started 2 years ago, it was a divine idea. Should we call it that?
Yes.
It was a divine idea. It wasn't something that we had planned that this particular time we will start 24 hours production system. No, it was something that during the course of doing our job well, right, in the business, we just found out that we cannot be the same like everyone else. You know, there are a lot of fashion brands in Nigeria and in diaspora, and in fact it would be beautiful for me to let everyone know that we are not competing with any fashion brand in Nigeria. Nigeria is really not at our competitor, any Nigerian fashion brand. The likes of Zara are those that we're competing with. And if we're competing with those in global scale, it means that we have to do something differently. So we have to win locally before we win globally. And how that idea came as a divine idea was just brainstorming and then finding out that what is the problem in the fashion industry in Nigeria. Remember, I said we have to win locally before we win globally. So we have to start with the Nigerian audience. What is the problem with the fashion industry in Nigeria? And it was, you don't need to think too much for you to think that everyone always says that there is disappointment. I can't count the number of times that tailors have been called out on social media platforms. So we just knew that, okay, has anyone stepped in to solve this problem? No. How about we be the ones to solve it? Was it something that we were 100% prepared for? No. But was it something that we knew we had the capacity to do? Yes. So when we brainstormed and God gave us that idea, we just found out that, okay, if this has been the problem for decades, the fashion industry in Nigeria has been going through disappointments. In fact, when they want to do any memes online, it's easy to call fashion designers for disappointments. So how about we come in and step in as the solution to this problem? Because as a brand, it's easier to make profits, scale, and expand when you're solving a problem. We can't be doing what everyone is doing. Wurafadaka is excellent. Wurafadaka is quality. Our outfits are quality. In fact, one of our values rather is honor. But we knew that it's easy for any other brand to replicate that. You can go to other brands and they so well. Probably. And we so well too. We pay attention to details. But it's easy for another fashion brand to replicate that. And we said, what can we do that will make us stand out? We decided to look for a problem and be the solution to that problem. And being the solution to that problem was the 24 hours production and delivery strategy, which is now the 2 hours production and delivery strategy. So yeah.
Hey God. Guys, I'm sorry I had to shout because I don't know. There's so much that I'm just getting from. Oh God. So you mentioned something about identifying the problem, right? And I just feel like for someone to win really in business, if you can identify the problem, then I think that's like the first like major step. So I believe that people on the call, I don't know, I believe you guys agreed with me with what she said, like identifying the problem. And then there was another thing you mentioned about the when you said it's a divine
Idea.
plan or divine idea. Like that means what you were doing, you say while you were doing the right thing, while you were doing the good thing that you're supposed to be doing, the idea came, and being the divine idea, God dropped it in your mind, literally, right? And it made us realize that as a business person, you can't do well without this God factor. Like there are some things God will just tell you to do, and you just realize that boom, everything just changed, and we can see. I mean, Wurafadaka is everywhere across the nation. So we are going to be going on a short break. Now it's going to be very short, and we'll be right back. So thank you so much, sir. We'll be right back. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah.
What is fundraising? Fundraising is the process of raising money or capital for a business an organization, or a project. The purpose of the funds is mostly to start, in other cases, is to sustain or grow the business.
Emotional demands are the pressures and expectations placed on you to manage and regulate your emotion in the workspace. Now, let's go on to tools of speaking. Tools of speaking. Number one.
What is fundraising? Fundraising is the process of raising money or capital for a business, an organization, or a project. The purpose of the funds is mostly to start, in other cases, is to sustain or grow the business.
Emotional demands are the pressures and expectations placed on you to manage and regulate your emotion in the workspace. Now, let's go on to tools of speaking. Tools of speaking. Number one, clarity.
When someone is then bringing up an idea or trying to go a direction that is not right, keeping quiet is going to be a disaster for the business.
For social media, how much do we spend on social media? How many customers did we eventually sell to from the people that came from social media? This event that we have been going to every month or every year, how many customers did we acquire in the last 1 year? Is it a profitable channel? Is it a channel for lead generation? Is it a profitable channel? Word of mouth. How much did we spend on word of mouth marketing? And how many customers did we get? What is fundraising? Fundraising is the process of raising money or capital for a business, an organization, or a project. The purpose of the funds is mostly to start, in other cases, is to sustain or grow the business.
Emotional demands are the pressures and expectations placed on you to manage and regulate your emotion in the workspace. Now, let's go on to tools of speaking. Tools of speaking. Number one, clarity.
When someone is then bringing up an idea or trying to go a direction that is not right, keeping quiet is going to be a disaster for the business.
For social media, how much do we spend on social media? How many customers did we?
Welcome back, everyone. I know that you're wondering what are these videos. So, Embark Entrepreneurship, we train young entrepreneurs, whether you're not a graduate or you're a graduate and you have a business you're running or you have a business idea that is scalable. We train them and we have live sessions twice a month. So those videos that you saw, those are like the videos of our facilitators, training our students on what to do, how to run their business successfully. And the new cohorts will be starting September. So if you're interested, just watch to the end, and the contact on your screen, you can just reach out to that contact, and then she'll tell you what to do. So let's get back to the question and answer. Welcome back, Sarah. Okay, let's for our guest to be back. So, okay, welcome to good to have you. Right? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I want to ask Mr. TJ this question. It's about growth and expansion. So, how did you scale from one location to? And I know that right now in Lagos, you have like probably about, I think, Abeokuta. So, how did you scale from one?
Okay. Can you hear me? I think it's breaking, but can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Sir. I can.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, I
Yes.
can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Basically, so I'll be speaking beyond. So right now, I think I want to put it in perspective. understanding the fact that we have people who are business owners online. So I won't just make it vague or theoretical, because I think the essence of this question and answer is not to hear from us, is for us to probably provide tangible solutions to
Yes, sir.
any person
Yes.
there. Um,
Yeah.
so and first, apologies, I'm talking too much. I have to I forgot. I have to appreciate Mr. Dare. I'm already calling it is Dr. Dare that came to my head. Is he a doctor? Maybe maybe
Further
it's because
expanding.
uh, I also appreciate him. Thank you for the opportunity. I think you are the first person that successfully brought both of us together. People have been trying it for years. And
Thank you, sir.
we honor you and we honor what you do.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for the privilege. Don't take it for granted. So
Thank
going straight to the point. Now it is important to understand that every vision should start small. It's necessary, not because you might have all the money to start, but it's important because starting small ensures good test runs. Because business is different. You can't be 100% sure that your client, you have target audience for your product. You might love it and they might not like it. It has happened severally. We've seen people that they will collect a good location, have a very good product, and yet they won't sell. They will close down eventually. So that's why it's
you.
important that you start small. So while you start small, you can discover that you even need to pivot totally from the original inception or the original product you want to sell. So once you start small, you're not starting small to remain small. You are meant to expand. You understand? It's just like how a baby grows to toddler, to like that, to adults, teenagers, like that. So that's how your business is supposed to grow. Your business is like a baby. When you give birth to your baby should not be 5 years and still wearing pampers. It should not be 10 years and it's still, still talking like a baby. No. So you don't just come out and say, I'm 5 years in business. 5 years what? So 5 years, like, can we attribute the 5 years to your business and say that, okay, in 5 years I've grown? So you must be able to measure your growth. There must be deliberate progress. So when your business is not making progress, it's either you close it down or you find a solution to it, because you are not supposed to be stagnant. Even if you don't make sales, it's not supposed to be for a long time. In fact, not making sales at first is just for your eyes to open to strategies that can bring consistent sales. And you don't need to believe everybody to say, market does not go at this time. No, market goes all the time. You are the one that do not have the buyers that can buy around the clock. So that's why I say I'm talking now that still I'm training people. This is like a master class. So now when we started, we didn't even start with a physical what do they call it? Store. We didn't have that. We started online. It was until 2021. Yes, it's not September 2021 that we had our first physical store. So from 2015, we've been running this brand online via Instagram. That's our own starting small. So we're running it online. We're just collaborating with, that's the power of collaboration. So that's why I think I wrote a book, The Grand Capital Theory. It explains how you can use other capitals to start an idea aside financial capital. Because a lot of people, why have you two started? They'll tell you they don't have money. So I think I wrote it there, like 7 other capital. It's on Amazon or I don't know, anywhere. You can just search it, the Grand Capital Theory. So collaboration is key. So we collaborated with people who already had the sewing machine, they had the space, so ours is to do marketing, get clients to us. The client gives us their clothes, we take their measurement and everything. We go and meet the tailor. We already have a stipulated price. We give the tailor the price. The clothes, he makes it, he gives us, we give the clients. The client does not know the tailor does not know the client, but we are solving the problem of financial crisis for the tailor, and we are solving the problem of giving the client an outfit, of getting outfit, as a student. So we didn't have a physical store. But when it was time, we had one. I think I was in Europe then, and we were in Europe then because we left the country at some point. I relocated to open in 2021 to open our first physical store. So while we opened it, I left Nigeria. Then later, God directed us to come back So after we got married, I think 2 months after marriage, we came back to Nigeria. Then we started at that same store we started with. So while we were there, we expanded. So now is the concept of expansion must be inherent in your mind, in your idea, in your brand. It must be something that you see. That's the concept of vision itself. Where are you going to be? So the moment you have what vision does basically is it expands your small mind to understand the fact that the state of your pocket should not dictate the kind of vision to have. No, your vision can be big and your pocket is small. So, but you have create strategies to now climb up the ladder of vision. So we knew that we were going to be global, but we are starting small. So that's why we know that we cannot. So after some time, we know that no, we can't be here. As of now, we ought to have moved here based on the vision that we have that is big. I hope we're getting it. So now, because of that vision, the vision is prompting us and giving us timing that by this time you are supposed to have left this place. Because for you to win globally, you have to win locally. Not even, there are different. The locally we are talking about now is not a state. We are talking of a nation. Now, very soon, the locally we will be talking about will be continental, like in Africa. So the locally now, before the first locally we were talking about was a state. That was Ilorin. Now we conquered that. Now the second locally is where we are on now. That's Nigeria itself. Then the third one is going to be Africa. So for you to have that kind of, so we have a game plan at Wurafadaka, like from the inception. So like we have a board, we wrote everything how we are going to move, except the Lord alters it. So we have it. So by default, every year we don't just review our growth. We know that this is where we ought to be by the grace of God. So with that in mind, and again, the scriptures also give us there's a scripture in the book of there's a book, a verse in the Bible, Genesis, I think Genesis chapter 1, where God was commanding us to expand, to procreate. So if you can go to that, I don't know that particular verse now, but I know that it's Genesis chapter 1. You will see that the way it is aligned, you are supposed to start, which is good. They are supposed to procreate, then reproduce that particular success, then expand, then dominate. So now, any brand that does not expand cannot dominate. So that's the biblical backup to what we are doing. Because you see any church that you see now that is going globally, there is no church that you see that has dominated that just has one branch in one place and is dominated. When I mean dominate, I'm not saying social media. Like it has its numbers and it has its results. For example, let me use Redeem. Redeem is dominating because it has strategy for expansion. So the Lord, I'm talking, let us leave church, I'm not a pastor. So the Lord was using Zara for us because he told us to study Zara. Because while we were in Europe, we were closer to Zara and all of that. And we noticed that during the war in Ukraine, Russia, in 2020 or so, I think 2020 or 2021, when they started that war, we saw that they closed, because of the sanctions, Zara closed 800 plus outlets in Russia alone. He closed it down. 800 plus. No. Why do you not expect the man not to be the third richest man? He was even the richest man at some time. The owner, that's LVMH brand. Why do you expect Zara not to be something people are seeking after? Why do you expect? So they are dominating the market not because their product is good. No, it's because they've expanded. What is iPhone doing, Apple doing in Nigeria? It expanded to Nigeria because it wants to dominate. So for you to have the concept of domination, you must believe in expansion. So you don't just start your brand in one place and remain there. No, you must have the desire, structures and strategies to expand. So when you have this big vision, you see from the foundation, you'll have known what to do, the kind of staff to hire, the kind of foundational principles, because you know that I'm going to leave. For example, now I'm the chairman, I'm not functioning in the business as I used to anymore. Because since last year, since I clocked 13, because right from the time I've built the system to function without my presence, because I know that I'll be busy going all over the world trying to grow the brand. So I think I just did a crash course on expansion for
Yes,
you.
yes,
Yes. Thank
yes,
you very much.
yes. It's so much to unpack. Honestly, while you were explaining, I was trying to like imagine me starting my business, and now I already know what to do. Like, when you already mentioned that when there is a vision, then I know, okay, this is when I'm making the next step. This is
Mhm.
where I will know that, okay, at this level, this is when you should move to another location. This is when you should expand. This is who to recruit to your company. This
Exactly.
is who
Yeah,
honestly,
beautiful.
I just want to say thank you. This is
Okay,
so much. This is what people pay millions of naira for, and they're just giving it to us. We are really grateful. We want to end this by 7, so I'm just going to ask 2 more questions, and then we allow people on the call to ask questions, and that will be all. All right. So
beautiful.
thank you so much. So the question I want to ask now, you already mentioned the God factor, and that's why I want to ask this question about this God factor thing. So Wurafadaka has grown into a global brand with branches in fashion. What role has God played in this journey? Would you say that um, your faith has influenced how you run your business and make decisions?
Okay, we're
Let
going to
me start
split
with
the
you.
answers.
Then I will love it also with you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we'll split the answer. I'll answer one, you answer, because there was a time I preached to, she as a businesswoman now, she's a priest also. So aside from marriage now, because it's very difficult for sometimes it's very based on what we've seen and the people we've counseled, we saw that most couples can't run brands together. Why? Because they don't understand their position and the values they bring. So she wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
CEO of the company because she's my wife, no. So while we were in Europe, she
Okay.
worked in a bank. She also worked, some places that I knew. And every time she worked, when the result for productivity comes, she's always stopping the chat. People, in fact, there was a particular place she worked that we both work that they said she was on, what did they say? On steroids, that they had to come and do investigation. That's no, she's not normal. Is that she's using something that nobody can have this kind of productivity. And she went on that company and the same thing. So why we relocate to Nigeria? I told her that you are not we are going to need you here. Oh. Because that same energy. You have to convert it to our own thing. So we did it's as if we hired her. So it's not because she was my wife, because once he holds on to something until that thing brings fruit, he doesn't leave it. So we knew her for that. So the God fact, that's why I said she's going to speak, because the moment she became a CEO, it was as if not transfer of leadership, but there was more that God showed her, because apparently this brand has been basically orchestrated by the wisdom of God and by the wind of the spirit. So we didn't have plans to relocate back to Nigeria, trust me. Because he was already working in a bank. I was already working in a company affiliated with Apple. In fact, we're about to be promoted the time we relocated. We're about to, move the ladder, and they even just gave us extra years to stay back in Europe. Like they extended our stay. We had to reject the extension, because God told me at first that I was sorry, that I was going to move to I think did we lost you? Okay, beautiful. So God told me at first. So my hearing and my relationship with God definitely gave us speed, gave us direction, and it gave us correction. There was a time I was in Cairo, Egypt. That was 2019. And the Lord told me while I was having my devotion, He told me that God told me that I should work on my excellence, else kings will not come to me. For the Holy Spirit to tell you that express, you should know that you are in trouble if you don't work on that. So I just had to, okay, you know what? We are not going to, I think that was the time we had to change all our hands. All the people that are sowing, we have to lay them off. We have to recruit new set of people. So even it costed us more, but we didn't mind. Our profits reduced, but the excellence increased because I got in the instruction directly that work on. Because at first I thought I was doing something reasonable and I was giving reasons for the nonsense we were doing then. But when God was not saying, no, you don't get the way it works here. If I want to lead people to you, I must be sure that I'm not confusing them, because it's not the author of confusion. So I don't want them to come to you and you disappoint them and they feel that I misled them. That's the Holy Spirit. That was the conversation I was having with the Holy Spirit. So he said, if you want my sons to come and buy from you. Work on your excellence. That was 2019. Since then, we've been working. Have you seen? So expressly, even when she was telling you about the 24 hours, yes. So what we used to do as a couple then is that we used to have night prayer. So our prayers are usually in the night, our prayer order. So around 12 and 12 a.m. So whenever we finish praying, then we now begin to brainstorm on business after we finish praying. Back. So while we're praying, and so when we're now brainstorming, that's when the idea just dropped. That we've been looking for problems 24 hours. So it just dropped in the place of fresh out of prayer. So we are evidences of the fact that you have a relationship with God does not mean you have to be a pastor. No, it might be that you are going to another industry to do well, because that is what children of God are supposed to do. They're not supposed to be
Yeah.
set on. They're supposed to
Mm,
rule and dominate.
mm,
So whenever we need anything, in fact, when ideas come, we vet it with the word of God. We have to go and meet God and put it in the place of prayer. But in fact, till employment, when we want to employ there are cases where we wanted to employ, and the Lord said we should not employ the person. We have to we have to turn the person down. So our faith in fact, is so, because we're not doing much. I wouldn't lie, because we just get to work and we tell them. Sometimes we sleep and we wake up with ideas about designs, and we just go and we just say, "Oh, this is what we do. This is what we do," and it will work. So yes, the answer, that's my own part of the question. So
You said it all.
you said it.
But I'm just
Wait
going
to
to add
hear
a
from
few
you.
more things. So, you know, the scripture that says that the love of God constrains us. So, basically, that's just what I will explain as business owners. We've had several times when we wanted to do something, and based on the standard business strategy, that was the right thing to do. And God told us, don't do it. And so many times it didn't make sense. On the long run, we would now find out that, wow, if we had done this thing, it would have almost been the end of us.
Mm.
We've had practical life lifestyle of faith in our brand. So we're living on faith, basically. Where faith, it gives us a boundary that in as much as there are things that naturally business people should do, we are bounded by the word of God. We cannot do this because we understand that beyond being business owners, we are ambassadors. We are ambassadors of Christ. So we are not citizens of the kingdom alone. We are we are ambassadors. There is a difference between being a citizen and an ambassador. A citizen can misbehave and it's okay. It's just a citizen. For example, a Nigerian can go travel outside the country and probably misbehave. And it's okay. It might be okay. But when an ambassador misbehave, there's a problem. Because as an ambassador, you are representing someone. So there's a different mindset of you knowing that you are an ambassador. And this is how we hold our business in ISM. In as much as we're earning profits, we understand that beyond the profits, we are also ambassadors. So this is how our faith has, one way or the other, shaped our lifestyle as business owners.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. I want to say something about when Mr. Tijesu talked about the excellent parts. I was having a conversation with my partner today because we both graduated from Faculty of Art as well. Linguistics 2017. So I was telling him that this Wurafadaka guy, that the excellence thing. So we're talking about how excellent you are. I was telling him that you are very, very principled. And now you now talk about how God told you about working on the excellence. I mean, it's so obvious, it's so apparent. One can see it that when it comes to excellence, like that is what you represent, and it's so good to know. So I'm going to ask one last question, and please, people on the call, you can start dropping your questions so that I can ask, so we can finish on time. So let me just go right to the last question that I have. So for student entrepreneurs watching this, what's one thing they should prioritize while trying to balance school and business? I don't know if Mr. TJ will want to answer.
I really know she was a scholar. Yeah, I was a business person in school. So apparently, you see, the mind is elastic. But
Okay.
so, so the mind is elastic, and one has to understand the fact that the 4 years within the wall of school is not the should not be restricted to academics. It is pathetic to restrict that whole 4, 5, 6 years to only academics. That's imagine, okay, after school now, you now say you spend 5 years for something else, 5 whole years, 4 whole years. There are a lot, even in school, when you are graduating, they say in character and in learning. In fact, they used to put the character first. That because our character has to do with how you are, how you handle life itself. What value has this community built in you? So a lot of people went to school with just that mentality of I just want to go and study, forgetting that it's not the carbon ion. Sorry, I'm talking to you guys. It's because I was saying that.
The network tripped off. Okay, please, if you have questions, start dropping your questions right now, right now, right now, please. If you have questions, start dropping your questions right now so that I won't miss your questions while we wait for them to join. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back, Ma. Okay, I think. Please drop your questions.
There is an alarming reality about starting a business, 50% of which fail within the first year and
Okay, Toby, Rodia, do you have question? Fermi, Mr. Korede. Okay, what strategies helped you grow your customers base? Okay, so please let's keep dropping our questions. All right. I can see Victoria's question. I can see your questions. Please, if you have your questions, please start dropping your questions while we wait for them to join. Okay, Victoria, I can see your question. Let me see if I can pin it. Okay, how do I create structures for my business? Okay, I
Thank you,
can.
back.
Okay, welcome. Yeah,
Yes, I think with
We
the
had a bit
network.
of network glitch.
yeah.
Okay. So as I was saying,
Yeah.
where was I? Where was I? What was the question?
They're talking
Okay.
about
Yes, students. Yes. So it's important to understand the fact. So once you have it at the back of your mind, I'm not here to just school. I'm here to learn life itself. Because one of the things that helped me was the fact that I know that after school, what next? I was consciously thinking, especially for the fact that I wanted to study law, but apparently after I tried my best, it gave me religions. That's comparative studies. You will know about that. And faculty of art.
yes,
Aha. So
yes,
that's the kind of course they gave me. So it brought me to the awareness of the fact that there's nothing this course will do for you in a country like Nigeria. So I know that
yeah,
if I don't want to be telling stories and be giving credit to the or discredit to the university for giving me the course for dedicating my life, I had to look for what else to do. So whether you are even doing engineering or medical sciences, I know that some of the courses are, but I know some doctors that were doing other things, that were into politics and whatever. And eventually after school, they didn't really pursue that. They went to do something. I know lawyers, a lot of lawyers that had to go into business because they started something reliable in school. So it's important that you build a reputation in school, a reputation of quality.
I think the network is still messing up. Please, I can only take 3 questions. Okay, I'm with you,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Your matric number alone that should come to people's head. It should be, who you represent. When I mention your name, what comes to their mind? So you must have built something. Some people call it brand. May I call it essence. You must have built something that, when I call your name, there are some people in your school as a student, while you were a student, once you mention their full name, there's this aura that comes with their name that You didn't really know what, but because they were not just students. So 4 years, 5 years is too much for you to just go to school and know. So you just, and at the same time you now balance, because I finished, I didn't spill, and I was one of the top students in my class. In fact, because I was doing entrepreneurship, I discovered my brain expanded, because I could, I can 100 people can be owing me, and I will know how much you are owing me one by one like this as a student. So it was easy for me to also assimilate reading, because I think my brain expanded and I was able to read better. So I just had time. So okay, between this time, because you can't tell me you are using 12 hours to read. It's not, you can tell me that. So even if it's 3 to 4 hours or even 3 hours max that you're using to read, the remaining hours is too much for you to just say you are in the four walls of the school. So you can balance your academics, know when to read. Of course, you're supposed to, when it's time, for example, when it's time for test and exam, we suspend business. So we suspend it in a way, or we've created, what I did was I created a system that can answer a client without my own whatever. So maybe after exam, I can just, after the exam for that day, I can just call briefly and ask, oh, what's about, did you go? Oh, good. Continue. Whatever I can do, I'll do. Then go back to my book again. So I read at night most of the time. So these are the so I just want you to, you can balance it. So but the mindset you should have is beyond balance, is after school, what should I be known for? Because the reputation, one of the reasons why we are doing well now is because a lot of people knew us. Imagine 50,000 students knowing you, and the 50,000 students leaving school and going to different parts of the world. They will tell other people. So even if they told one person about you, that's 100,000 people knowing you. Now they tell 5 people. You understand? You see most people doing great things now in politics, in business, whatever. There's a link. It's connected to why they were in school. So you must understand that wherever you are as a student, that's the more reason, because you have an opportunity to even test on your products to live audience. Because you are a student, they can still understand that you are a student. So if you make mistakes, there are some mistakes that are permissible. Unlike you leaving school, that if you make a mistake, they can arrest you. So you make the mistake, let it be your practice ground as a student. So I think that's all. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ma. So I'm just going to take three questions because we were meant to finish by 7. I have a lot of questions here, but I'm just going to like put everything together to 3 questions so that we can just allow you to go. Thank you so much. So this question, what strategies helped you grow your customers base in the early days of your business? Victoria asked this question. So Victoria asked 2 questions. I'm going to put the two together, and I would love um I would love you, Matt, to please answer the question. So she said, what strategies helped you grow your customer base in the early days of your business? And also, how do you build visibility and trust with your audience online, especially as a startup brand?
Okay, so let me take you one after the other. I don't think I can remember the second one, but I can remember the first question. So, because you put that early days, I have to go way back. If you said now, then I would give you a different answer. So, number one would be honor, because in the early days, we weren't so excellent as we were, and we are now, rather. But because no matter the mistakes we made, it just felt like we had put our clients we have put ourselves in our client's shoes, and then we're ready to amend it. We started the refund before we made it into a systemic refund policy. We started doing it way back. That anytime we do an outfit for a client and the client is displeased with that outfit, we must make another one. It has been something we've been doing years ago. So in the early days, I would say honor. And two, I would say resilience. Because during those seasons, even though there were times clients spoke to us anyhow, we didn't give up. Because it was easy to just feel that I think this fashion business is not for me. It's not for me. Since I'm disappointing clients, I think I have to leave this business. Maybe I should go and do something else. But because we were resilient, we stayed at it and we didn't give up. And that's why we are where we are today. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So Victoria, I believed she has answered your question. Okay, so there's another question about how to build visibility and trust with your audience online, especially as a startup brand. Okay, did you get that? Yeah, I think the network tripped off. So I won't be able to take any questions again, guys. So I think the last question I'm seeing here is from Oluwatobi Loba. So let's wait for them to get back, and then would call it a night. Okay. So I have questions from. Okay, thank you, Victoria. Thank you for that feedback. I have questions from Bankole. Yeah, I have questions from Bankole. So let's just be patient. Let's be a little bit patient for them to join us again, and then we will be done. All right, I can see your question, Bankole. How can I, as a graphic designer, position myself? So while we wait for them to join, I just want to say something about the question about the trust thing. You know that she mentioned something about refund. I believe that's one way you can build trust, when you know that one issue that people complain about entrepreneurs is that, I mean, people, when you ask someone to sew clothes for you, I want to use that as an example, and they're telling you there's a mistake, and they're telling you there's no refund policy. Most people in business today will tell you there's no refund policy, but you heard what she said about how they are ready to refund. So I believe if you do that, you will be able to gain trust. I mean, people can trust you. And then she also mentioned that they put their customers, welcome back, Sir and Ma. They mentioned that they put their self in the shoes of their customers. So if you can put yourself, welcome back, Sir and Ma, you can put yourself in the shoes of your customers, you'll be able to treat them well, and they will be able to trust you. So I believe with that, you'll be able to build trust. So I have just two more questions, and then we are done. So this question is from Toby Loba Ruth. As an entrepreneur would soon be in school, or who is leaving school soon, I believe that's what she meant. What do I need to put in place to prevent my business from closing down in this current location I'm in, especially for my services? So I believe she's leaving school soon to serve, and she wants to know what to do to prevent her business from closing down.
Okay, beautiful. I think so while I was in school, I had this concept. While I was in school, I read a lot and I attended seminars. In fact, most of the lights I got in school were in seminars. So just seminars as this. So I knew that there was a concept of short-term goal, business goal, and long-term business goal. Now, Wurafadaka at some point was short-term, just for me to get something to put food on my table as a student. By the time I was reaching my last year, I had to switch to long-term. That's when I started doing billboard. I think I was the first student entrepreneur to do a billboard in Nigeria then. So I started doing billboards then. And why was I doing billboard? So I started spending all my profits on publicity, because I was leaving already and I was preparing for outside school. So that I had to shift. So if the person has a year, or let's say a year and a half to spend in school, now you have to, if you like the business and you want it to be able to sustain you outside school, you feel that it has this kind of profit and you can do well and you have big visions for it, then change your strategy from short term to long term. Start reaching out to audience also outside school, mature audience, because I had what I'm telling you now, you're supposed to pay me, because it's my experience I'm using, because I had the shock, even despite the fact that I switched to long term at 100 at the last level while I was in school. When I finished school, I still had a shock. Business went down first after NYC. It went down for like almost 8 months, that I was struggling to get new audience, because I'm no more. NYC took me to Lagos. Now I'm back in Abeokuta, so I'm no more close to Ilorin, where my audience primarily were. So So I felt maybe I didn't do enough. So it was later on, after the 8 months, I was able to garnish myself back and look for strategies that can now appeal to audience that are not necessarily students, or let's say even students that I'm new with now, maybe my new community, because some people's audience could be, for example, item 7 now, yeah, in Okyoto, primarily students. That's I don't know. Asem is a restaurant for those I don't know in Ilorin. So it has a student campus, whatever space and all of that. So you must know. Also, what I'm trying to say as a student, once you are leaving, start moving to long term. If you know that that business is viable, then move to long term. Start doing strategy. Start meeting people. Start going to events outside school campuses. Start networking outside school campus. Start preparing for NYSC. Know where you want to serve. You understand what I'm saying? Except the Lord tells you that okay, go and serve in Shokoto. When if you don't have any business going to a place that you know, even to go and teach, if you don't have any business and you have a viable business, please don't go. You can always and not even work because it's not that I worked my own. I just proved myself very valuable because I think while I was on the NYC camp, I was able to make clothes and presented the outfit to the NYC coordinator and the state coordinator. So that was one of my strategies then. When I gift and honor people, it opens door for me. Because my father doesn't know people there, my mother does not know how do I meet these people. And you don't go and meet people and the first time you are meeting them, you are asking for things. No, the first time you meet people, you make sure you give them value. It's the value that makes them remember you. In fact, our policy is that you give 10 times before you ask once. So I did that and the thing broke the Lagos, NYC, whatever. And they invited me to come as the man started going to our Instagram page and he invited me to come and speak to coppers, even as a copper. All of them were inside the sun. Me, I was under the shade with billionaires on the day of whatever. I was giving a speech, and from there I presented to the governor of the state an outfit. So I was able to have access to that. With that, I think I earned almost 1 million on NYC ground when I was supposed to be serving. So because of that, so I was close with the coordinators. So I was able to air my opinion that I have a thriving business. I might not be this place you are going to go and post me. I might not be able. Can you post me to serve in my company? And they told me the documentations they needed, and I presented it. Boom! I served in Wurafadaka. While I was so there is always a way. I used to tell someone that rules. Don't worry, that's an advanced one. So that's an advanced class. So what I mean is, so by the time you have that perception of I want to go out and there's no, the problem I think many entrepreneurs have, you have plan B, plan C, plan D, the plans are too much. So if this one does not work, you don't even waste time.
Yes.
You don't know that sometimes you just need to have a little bit of tenacity to just put through. So me, I didn't have any other plan. I could not use my certificate because which job do I want to get with cooperating? So the only thing is value. I must appear valuable to people. So that was the plan I had. And so everywhere I went to, I was not just sitting down, I was talking. If wicked people can be bold, how much more you that you are good? I think one of the problems with many good people is that you think being vocal about what you do is pride. That's the wrong conception. If you don't shout, humans don't hear. You are not selling to demons or angels. You are selling to human beings. It's the more you shout, the more they hear. You
Yes.
understand? The more you shout, the more you position yourself, the more they hear you. So if you don't do that, no matter how skillful you think you are, nobody is going to know. You will see Portable will be earning money, and you that can sing, you'll be singing in the bathroom. And he that cannot sing because he shouts so much, he's earning the money. So those are the things. So I want you to go out there as an undergraduate, be vocal, let the world know, even before you finish school, that you are coming with something. I think I've helped you.
Yes, you have, and you have helped me too. Thank you so much, sir and Ma. The last question for today. So I know that I can't keep quiet. I have to be loud. I mean, we can't keep quiet. If you are quiet, you will not even know what you're doing, what you're selling. So you can't keep quiet. So the last question for today. This person is a graphic designer. So he said, how can I be entrepreneurial in my approach as a graphic designer?
Okay. Should I
Let
answer
me
that?
read it. Okay. It said, how can I, as a graphic designer, position myself or my perspective to my craft as a business person? So, how can I be entrepreneurial in my approach?
Ah, this is masterclass. Where do I start from? Are you really a business person? Because everything we're going to say, will you be able to execute them? Because these are big strategies. So I'm thinking, should I say it? Should I not? Okay, but let me just say it. If you really want to expand that craft that you have, you must think beyond yourself. You must think as a business person that creates systems. So basically, if you want to turn that to, instead of it being a skill, it's one thing for something to be a skill, is another thing for something to be a business. So most
Mm,
people are sole proprietors and they are not ready to scale. They've not turned
mm,
that idea or that skill, that craft into a system. So for you to turn it into a system is the fact that you are ready to monetize it now, even beyond you. So are you ready to think big that you will get to a level that you begin to employ people? That system.
mm,
You mustn't be the one doing the graphics. You can build a graphics brand that beyond graphics, there are other things that you would do there. So you must think beyond what you can do. So that's why I'm saying that I hope you're ready to execute these ideas because they are big. You must take yourself out of the idea. You must, like what SOT said, you must be willing to create a system that functions without you. So it means that someone can come to your graphics designing brand and ask for an artwork, and somebody will make that artwork and it will not be you. It means that you must be willing to employ other people into that company. So I know that graphic designers, they always think or peg themselves to a level of it must be me.
mm.
It must not be you. You can create a system beyond you. And I think I've not seen companies doing that except one particular company.
It's a company that
Yes.
currently does it for
For
like
yes.
our graphics team now. It's not our team, it's an agency. That agency, I don't even think the owner of the agency can even design.
No.
But he has a pool, or she, it's even a female.
Yeah.
She has a pool of graphic designers. So she just drops, there's this thing. So we subscribe monthly
See.
to our platform. Have you seen? So you must, like she said, you must start thinking as a businessman, not as a skillful man.
Mhm.
There are two different things. You can, for example, now I'm not skillful in fashion, but I am business oriented. So that's why we have almost 100 staff that can sew, that spent years learning. And me, I did not learn because you can't just sit on the machine and you expect people to come and buy. No, that you can sew does not mean you'll be successful in business. When will you buy house? If you are the one sitting down behind the machine. If so for you, the person building, she's not saying because
See,
that's the issue with us now that we don't. Can you hear me? Or it is angry? Oh, it is angry. Can you hear us? Is it clear over there?
I think the network is glitching.
wait for the okay.
There is an alarming reality about starting a business,
So I think
50%
don't
of which fail within the first year, and 75% of those that exceed the first year fail within the next 5 years. However, Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is set out to tackle those relatable entrepreneurial challenges by introducing young minds to hands-on knowledge that will help to start, sustain, and scale a successful business and in turn beat the odds. Are you an
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Okay.
I think
Thank
we
you
got
so much.
you're
Yes.
welcome.
Yeah. So just to finish up the question about the graphic designer, and then we are done. Your advice to
Yes,
entrepreneurs
like I
and
said,
what? Okay.
okay, the person should open up. That's why we are scared of admonishing. We can tell you something that will work because we are not just talkers. We do it. We are our full is our full-time job, entrepreneurship. So we'll tell you
Mhm.
that people don't want to give jobs to you because you are skillful. They want to give to you because you have systems. You can't tell me that you're a graphic designer and I give you like 4 designs, and another company gives you 4, and you tell me that you are very busy. I'm going to leave you because I need it fast. So you must
Mhm.
start building it as a system. So I put it towards that person. Go and have an agency. So now, don't just say you're a graphic designer. It looks a bit lame. You just say you're a graphic
Mm.
designer. Even AI is designing right now. I
Yes.
don't need a graphic designer right now. AI. So you are supposed to have an agency where even AI can be designing for you. So you are just
Mm.
coming to solve our problems with visuals. Visuals, that's the problem. So don't tell us that you're a graphic designer anymore. Oh, I want so from there, that person can grow into even having an agency for publicity, doing billboards on behalf of people, because anything visual that appeals to people, you can go into cinematography, you can go into photography, you can go into anything branding, you can even go into customization. See that that pool is large. It's beyond you just knowing how to design and put colors together. You must know how to make it cough out money. So you go to the direction that the money is, not direction of I'm skilled. There's what they call deception of skill. That is, you will be skillful, you will be so skillful that you think it's automatic for you to have money. No, there is skill is different. Monetization is another thing. So you must learn how to maximize your skill, draw the juice out of that graphics and see what it can do. It can do bigger things. In this current dispensation, lastly, don't come and tell us you're a graphic designer. Tell us the problem we are coming to solve for us. Visual identity, whatever, personal branding, and you tell us that I'll take your personal branding from the beginning, from your flyers to your billboards, to your handbills, to your business card. Give us full package. So, and for you to do that, you need to have systems. See, I just give you master class, that person. So, God bless you. Thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much,
much.
sir. Yes, I think the word to use is you have poured into us. I mean, myself, I will look back and say, Wurafadaka said this. Thank you so much, Mara. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Tijesuni,
All right.
Simire. Thank you for staying with us to this time. I mean, we have gone beyond the time, and we are really, really grateful. We are really grateful. Thank you so much for your time.
You're
So that
welcome.
will be all for
Thank you so much.
tonight. And I must say that you are very beautiful, ma. You are good. All
Thank
right.
you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, guys. Yeah. Thank you, sir. You're good. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for staying till the end of this spotlight show. I want to believe that your business will not remain the same after this show. So everything that you've learned today, please implement them. Do not wait till another spotlight show. Start thinking of what can I do to better my business? What can I do now? You know, I picked a lot of things from what they said. You know, they mentioned identifying the problem. So right now you are thinking of the problem to identify the problem you want to solve. That's what you should be thinking about at the moment. So they said that you should identify the problem. So identify the problem in your field. Please identify the problem in your field. And they also mentioned that you should be loud. You should be loud. So you cannot keep quiet. People need to know what you are doing. Yes, people need to know what you are doing, and you have to win locally before you win globally. And they also mentioned the God factor, the vision. When you have the vision, you know what to do. You know when you're meant to leave this level to move to another level. Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is doing so much for free, and we are really grateful for this opportunity. And if you want to join our next cohort, like I mentioned earlier, we have our next cohort coming up September, and it's going to be 4 months of live sessions where we'll be talking about topics on business, how to run your business, the legal essentials in business, branding, everything you need to know about scaling your business, So I want you to reach out to the contact on the screen and they will tell you what to do. And we will also be having a pre-webinar application where we'll be telling you everything about Embark, the time of the live sessions. We are going to, after the live session, the formal live sessions, we have the capstone project and we have the mentorship program where you get to be mentored by someone that is running the kind of business you're running. I mean, so much, and it is for free. Yes, for free. So give it up for Embark Entrepreneurship Academy, and I'm going to be calling it a night at this moment. Thank you so much for joining again. My name is Temitope, and see you in the next Spotlight Show. We are bringing another giant in the industry. So see you then. Bye.
There is an alarming reality about starting a business, 50% of which fail within the first year, and 75% of those that exceed the first year fail within the next 5 years. However, Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is set out to tackle those relatable entrepreneurial challenges by introducing young minds to hands-on knowledge that will help to start, sustain, and scale a successful business, and in turn, beat the odds. Are you an undergraduate student with a passion for entrepreneurship? Embark Entrepreneurship Academy is the platform to turn your dreams into a thriving business. Listen to our students share how Embark Entrepreneurship Academy has transformed their ambitions into achievements.
Experience at the Embark Entrepreneurship Program has been impactful, knowledgeable, and insightful at the same time.
At the Embark Entrepreneurship Academy has been awesome.
It has been supportive, educational, and I love the family feeling that it brings.
I wish I had taken the class before I started my business.
To learn more, simply sign up for the pre-registration webinar at bit.ly/embark pre-application webinar.
Or call the numbers on the screen.